Welcome everybody to the regular meeting of the Zoning and Housing Board of Appeals for January 22nd, 2025. Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Tomato?
Here.
Vice Chair Montanti? Commissioner Plauts? Commissioner Arruda?
Here.
Commissioner Zimnowitz? Here. Commissioner Kendall?
Here.
Councilmember Matheson?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Also like to mention that Code Enforcement Officer Steve Early's here. Is there any correspondence?
Negative. No.
Okay. We have two pieces of old business. I think we're going to move them to February
I would move to table those to the February meeting.
February 26th.
6th.
Can I get a second, please?
I'll second that.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Tomato?
Yes.
Commissioner Arruda?
Yes.
Commissioner Zimnowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Kendall?
Yes.
Passes.
Thank you. We have new business. The applicant is the Oneonta Boys and Girls Club. Who's here to represent them?
Bob Escher and Russ Southern.
Thank you. Before we start, I'd like to let you know that we do have a quorum this evening. There are 4 of us here. That means that we would all have to vote yes. I do give everybody an opportunity to potentially, if they want, ask to have their, application tabled to the next meeting, which, that's up to you. But everybody would have to vote yes for your thing today.
Okay, let's go.
You want to go for it tonight?
Yes.
All right.
We're confident.
Sounds good. Okay. Why don't you let us know what you're trying to do?
Well, it's kind of what we already did. We had a rebrand for the Boys and Girls Club back in October. And we felt that part of the rebrand is that we needed some more visibility for the public to see what the building was. There was currently lettering on the front of the building, which was very difficult to see. And so we put up 2 signs. I was the one that I took full responsibility of putting the 2 signs up that had our new logo. And we felt that we also needed a directional sign for our parking lot. And then I was contacted by the Code Enforcement Officer office, John Hester, in that very same day. I filled out our application for a sign and dropped out the application and with our application fee. We have received nothing but very, very positive feedback on the signage. Just this afternoon, I was in the community bank and they were, the one woman I was talking to, she said, how much that she loved our new signage and how it spruced the place up and just in a very positive manner. I did not know that we needed a sign permit. I was not aware of that. That's my responsibility, and I apologize for that. We'll do whatever we need to do to make it right. We have a reputation to protect the Boys and Girls Club, and we don't want to do anything that's disrespectful to the city. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and we appreciate your consideration of whatever variances need to be done to keep the signs that we have up there.
Anything else?
Well, part of the variance is the sign's just a little too big, square footage wise, but considering the size, if you got the maps there, the size of the property, it doesn't overwhelm. It's actually right size for the facility, I believe. But it's not electronic, so it's not exactly.
Okay.
And I probably, if I had known what the specs were, I probably would have come and asked for a variance anyways, because I think the sign based on 15 square feet really would have been kind of small, would have looked kind of odd. So we probably would have been back there anyways, asking for a variance to do a large sign.
All right. Russ, you kind of said, there wasn't an electronic sign. Is there a reason why you didn't try to do an electronic sign?
There wasn't really.
You don't think that there's a need, like other schools and other places like that do those types of things?
Yeah, we wanted to keep it tasteful and respectful. We didn't, I think think what we did was,
Well, I think it is too, but I mean, I look at the opportunity into the future that you may have, and I was just curious why you didn't choose an electronic sign or something to that effect.
probably cost you,
Cost was a consideration at this point.
we didn't bid it out or anything
We
like
have a
that.
residence right across the road,
Okay.
flashing.
It's a
Sure.
residential area.
Well, it's an MU. Yeah, it's a mixed use, yeah. Okay.
Is there,
Excuse me, Pete, one second. Is there anybody in the audience here tonight that's gonna speak to this? No? Okay. I'm gonna open up some questions from the board, and then we'll go forward. Pete, go ahead.
is the sign lit at all at night?
We have, we had some Christmas decorations that were around that we had, a couple of things. They're frozen in the ground, so we'll take them off in the spring.
Okay, but it's not lit otherwise?
It's not lit.
Okay,
There are some solar lights up there, but they're very, very dim.
okay. So it can be seen at night?
Little,
Solar light.
not much,
Okay.
not very well.
But there's nothing, projecting that would
No, we don't have
cast a
any
shadow or
spotlights or
anything?
anything like
Okay,
that.
gotcha. That was my next question.
That's it? Doug, you have anything for him?
No questions.
Okay. Lori?
Yeah, I guess I had a question regarding, how much, aside from, I understand that it's a little bit larger than it should be. But also I think there's a specification that it can't be farther than 4 feet. Steve,
Maybe
how-
higher than 4 feet.
higher than,
Maybe taller than 4 feet.
it can't be taller than 4 feet from
So
the,
the sign's too big, now it's too high, and it's too many.
and then we have two signs.
Question, is it a directional sign with parking with an arrow exempt? One is a parking with an arrow. and it's-
Yeah, so the way it works is sign ordinances are required to be content neutral, so it doesn't matter what the sign says, it's physicality of the sign. So like you could paint like contract sales on that sign, it doesn't matter.
Steve, how much taller is the sign, do you know?
I'd have to look at the application, and it's like, I don't know, it's not much, it's like a foot or something.
Yeah.
Even, off the top of your head, Bob, I know it's in the application, right?
Yeah, I just didn't see it quick. I must have missed it. Yeah, it says it's higher than 4 feet.
Yes.
And the square
the-
footage is there, but not the height.
Yeah, it doesn't say how much higher it is.
It was a foot or less.
Yeah, I think it was minimal, yeah.
One is 5 feet 6 inches, the other is 6 feet 2 inches from the ground,
From the grade to the top.
because there's posts that kind of go up.
Yeah, I
on
understand.
top. The sign is here, and then there's a little bit of,
But normally it wouldn't be, the specs call for it to not be more than 4 feet, so it's really 2 feet higher, is the 6 foot one is,
correct. yeah.
correct? Well, are you looking for commentary now?
What's that?
Are you looking for commentary now at all?
Well, I mean, I think at this moment, if nobody else has any, comments, I'm gonna close the public comment.
I mean, I'm not here to speak for the public, but I'd be. can I give
Sure,
my opinion on
sure.
it?
Please
I
state
mean-
your name, please state your name.
Sure, my name's Corey Rowe, a business owner here in Oneonta. And I just want to say, if this is something they're trying to do, it's in the best faith possible. Our city needs as much new development as possible and as much new signage as possible, as much new color. And I'm sure it's a beautiful sign. And around there, like you said, it's a mixed-use area. You got a bar right behind it with flashing fluorescent lights. All they're trying to do is let people know that their facility's there. As a business owner and a city resident, I think that's a great idea. And if it's a little bit over the, again, I'm gonna ask for a little rule change myself here in a few minutes. So I understand the need to do business and to conduct ourselves in a certain way and to do new opportunities like this. And during the rebranding is something that we need. So from a public perspective, at least in my opinion, I think it should be okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah,
A conflict if I said something as a member of the public?
no, if you identify yourself as a member of the
I was
public.
gonna say,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
if-
yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't know if it would be a conflict or not, but Hey, I'm Carrie. Who's Matt? I live on River Street. I have kids that attend the Boys and Girls Club, and I have an 18-year-old that has attended since second grade. And I think putting the sign there is actually enhances the safety of the area. It allows people to see that there is an environment where there are a number of kids that are going to be congregating in the area as much as they are inside when it is nice outside. There are kids constantly outside doing activities, and there is adult supervision, and those kids are watched, but kids are kids, and things happen. So I think it's an important safety consideration as well to have those signs there.
Thank you, Carrie.
My first purple comment.
Make sure you get that in the minutes.
I will. I know somebody.
Bob, do you have anything else to say, you or Russ?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. We're going to close the public comment at this moment. Do we have any concerns or comments from the board?
Well, I guess I would have a question. Is it hard for people to find your parking lot? Because, I mean, honestly, it's a big parking lot, so.
We get a lot of new people all the time that come. And there's actually two entrances to the parking lot, and we want them to go in one way and they exit the other way.
So, you know, like right now, there's teams from South Courtright, Delhi, Walton, in the Marabito Youth League. They come from all over Stanford. So there are new people coming in, you know, at night, and it's dark, and you can see that sign.
But we don't want them going out the way, we want traffic to flow in an orderly fashion.
So it has been a problem.
Well, it's,
That's all, I'm just trying to get, you know,
But flow of traffic is, if you drove by there now, there's hundreds of cars there. And there's probably a couple hundred cars in our parking lot. And we want them all to come in one way. Before, there was nothing, people would come in the other way. I mean, it's just,
Thanks, Bob.
we want,
Thank you.
oh, there's necessary.
Doug, how are you feeling about this, Doug?
It seems like not an unreasonable request.
Okay.
We need to do a seeker on it.
Yes, yeah, we're going to have to make a motion here in a
I
second.
agree with Doug. I just have a question. The address is 7082. What's the kind of history of this lot? I'm not familiar with it. Is it used to be more than one lot, or is it one?
It is Marvin.
it started out as a boys club. In 1907, they opened it as a boys and girls, and they went up River Street, and there was 2 homes there that were purchased. And I don't know if they were moved or torn down, but, so there was a couple homes there.
But it's one lot currently on the
Yeah.
tax map.
Well, isn't the parking lot?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, if there's two, the code says 2 signs, but if the parking lot's on another lot.
Well, the code says businesses are permitted to have. It doesn't say parcels.
Okay. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I agree with Doug. You know, it's and Carrie's comments from the public.
Okay, thank you, Pete.
so I would say that they're tastefully done,
Mhm.
but my concern is, if the code is that you can only have one sign, for a business, it concerns me that we're making a variance that could apply to other businesses that don't have quite this much room.
Well, so to clarify that, when you're looking at an area variance, the criteria to meet for an area variance is not the same as for a use variance. So an area variance is, does this lot have, like, is this application unique in that, like, we've all agreed, it's a very large lot compared to the adjacent lots? There's a justification for maybe a larger sign or a taller sign because the lot is 6 times bigger than the adjacent lots. You know, is it gonna do a negative impact to the community? Well, like Carrie said, probably not, because it's a working public, there's kids there, there's, you know, cars coming in and out. So, when you're talking about an area variance, what you're looking at are specific criteria that are specific to this application that don't necessarily all have to be met in order to grant an area variance. Whereas a use variance, that's where you start to get into a much higher threshold for approval, And that's where there is no gray area on, does this meet or does it not meet? You know, that's kind of when you're in the territory of area variances, what you're looking at is like, are there accommodations they could make to make the sign more compliant with the code? Unfortunately, in this case, they've already installed the sign, so like, what could have happened is like, oh, maybe the sign could have been slightly smaller or slightly shorter, but at the end of the day, like, when you're looking at an area variance, what you're looking for are those unique circumstances that make this particular application not overly offensive, which we kind of all discussed already. So, the concern that you're like, well, if we approve this, the next thing we know, everyone's gonna come in and say, hey, I want a much bigger sign because you gave it to these guys. Well, the answer would be, do you have a parcel that's, 17,000 square feet? No, you have a 4,000 square foot parcel.
I also think that, from my opinion, and I recognize this almost as being a wayfinding sign for the parking that's there. And it just makes sense that that particular parcel has, that wayfinding for there as well as, it's on the other side.
And they've made an argument that there are people coming from out of town. And
There
so
is.
it would be good for traffic around children to be designed. the
But I
way
think
they
you'd
need
be
to
hard
have the
pressed to
sign.
find another parcel that has a parking lot that's that large. I mean, that's another anomaly that you're not gonna find at, the Six Ward Athletic Club. I mean, it's not, they're very different.
Yeah, and the approach too, there's a lot of frontage there before you get to that lot.
Correct.
You need a sign there to know, otherwise you're gonna have people stopping right, in the middle of the street, dropping kids off, because, people out of town don't know. So I would say that the second sign is warranted even despite the code, and it does say the property address and or business. So,
I think we're splitting hairs. I think that it's a wayfinding sign,
I'm trying to justify
Yeah,
it,
sure,
but-
okay. We have to deal with the seeker and the environmental assessment form. If I could get a motion that declares this a type 2 action and, this being a minor temporary use, it has negligible and no permanent impact on the environment.
So moved.
Get a
Second.
second from Keith. Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Tomino,
Yes.
Commissioner Aruda,
yes.
Commissioner Zimnowitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Kendall,
Yes.
passes.
Steve, we have to approve, it's just one, right? We're approving,
You're approving an area variance for the application that's submitted.
Okay.
including The wayfinding sign and the signage.
if we can get a motion to affirm that fact that he just said so eloquently, that would be great.
I'll make a motion to approve, the application.
Second.
Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Tomino.
Yes.
Commissioner Aruda,
Yes.
Commissioner Zimnowitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Kendall.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Do a great job down there. Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
I'm gonna speak for Bob, if you ever want a tour of it. he'd be
I'd
glad.
love to have you down, show you all really good things to do.
We got woodworking, boxing, wrestling, art room is unbelievable. It's really
Good stuff.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you
If you
all.
ever wanna stop down.
I see that we have somebody in the audience that may want to say something. Go ahead and just state your name and what you'd like to say.
Sure, good evening. Thank you for your time. I'm not gonna try to take too much of it. I sent you guys an email on December 26th to some of the members that were listed on the city website with your email addresses. So I'm in talking with the Mohawk Valley Land Bank about 62 Elm Street. So 62 Elm Street's been foreclosed on. It's in really, really bad shape. Dozens of people have looked at it, and no one has wanted to take on the challenge. I decided that I'd like to try to take on that challenge, but it's a very, very large dwelling. It housed at its prime 18 to 22 fraternity kids in there. So it's 4 levels from basement to attic. It's huge, it's massive. I don't know the full square footage of the house, but I want to put $300,000 into renovating it into 4 to 6, if possible, probably more like 4 affordable units that will increase, and help the housing crisis that Oneonta is currently in. However, 62 Elm Street, as I'm sure you're aware, is in a single-family zone, and so I need to get a variance to get the allowance to have more than 1 unit in the building. And if I'm going to put $300,000 into building it and redoing it, I'd like to have a little bit of an idea of what the zoning board's temperature is on granting a variance in that section of the city. And I can just say that it's surrounded by multifamily homes. Literally across the street is another college, fraternity, sorority, whatever it is. And so, yeah, I'm just here to try to present to you guys the fact that I'm working with the Greater Mohawk Valley Land Bank to try to rehabilitate 62 Elm Street, and that I potentially would need a variance to have more than one unit in it, and if that's something that this board would entertain,
Well-
you know, that kind of thing. So that's where I'm coming from, just a loose, off the cuff, no, you know, on
Well,
the record.
well, thank you for investing in the community, first of all. We need a lot more of that. We need help here. The issue and problem that we have as a zoning board, our power is really limited to what happens here on, Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. There's a code that we have in the city of Oneonta. I think that this particular issue that you have, you may need to, obviously talk with the code office and see what you need to do. We want people to invest. The only issue is that we have a code, and we have to see how that particular property that you're talking about at the time that you come and apply for a variance, how we would deal with it. It's very hard to do what we would do. We until we see an application in front of us, it makes it very difficult for that to happen.
What are some of those boxes that I can check for you?
It's really hard to say, you know what I mean? Every property is unique. Every property has different circumstances, and that's why there's a zoning board. We have a code, and by law, we have to have a zoning board, a review board that hears, any type of issue that somebody might have with the code. And so you'd have to, obviously show how that property is unique and different than other properties in that neighborhood. There's a lot of other stuff that you could probably sit down with Mr. Yurley and go through and see what those issues are. And you'd have to overcome those challenges here, that night
Okay.
when you come.
So, I mean, just responding what I think I hear you saying is that I'll try to do to help is one, I'd like to make an informational piece so that you guys can digest what I plan to do with the property and the overarching scope of the project. Number two is I could go around to the surrounding neighbors of everybody and talk to them personally and just gauge their interest on the matter, start a petition of some kind that they support said
Yeah.
property development.
I mean, you could do all those things until we get an application in front of us. We can't rule on anything or give you
Sure,
any
of
type of answer towards you. When you come here, there's some people obviously who would think that the development of that particular piece of property would be fantastic in the way that you're talking, but other people may not think that way. And then we're a board of citizens, appointed, by the Common Council or the mayor and, approved by the Common Council. So we all have very limited power, here until we see you, so.
So fill out an application, submit it for one of your next meetings.
Yeah, and then you just
And work with the code enforcement
Yeah.
office, because I really think they want to help development
We
in
are.
our area.
Him and I walked through the
So-
property together, and he's been on the email chain that, we've been having with the Greater Mohawk Valley Land Bank. So he's aware of what we're trying to accomplish, but has also laid out the importance of making sure that I get a variance because the profitability of the project decreases dramatically if it's not a multi-unit house. So, I will fill out an application.
I will tell you some of the issues that we've seen with some properties like that.
That's exactly-
Like some people will come, neighbors or other people in the city will come and show up and say, well, what if this turns into an Airbnb? What if this turns into, a college rental house? And some people have issues with those things. And I think that those are things that you would have to overcome with the public as well as, the code. And these houses are large. There's a ton of these different houses in the city, and we have to figure out how we're going to deal with these things that are 3,000 plus square feet. You could review an application that we saw back, and I think it was either in October or November. It was on Maple Street, and there was a particular house there where they wanted to kind of figure out how to do the same type of thing there. So
Okay.
I think you
check
could
that
think.
out. I'll do those things, and I appreciate the information. That's really the main purpose tonight, was just to kind of gauge what would help you guys through the process and just to make sure I do it correctly.
Yeah, and just to add, as Mr. Yurley said earlier in the discussion, a use variance is different from an area variance. You'd be talking about a use variance, right? This would be a use
It's a
variance.
use variance.
So on the application, there is a list of criteria that you have to meet and we have less leeway for a use variance. You should check out those
I definitely will.
criteria.
It's extremely valuable. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. So use variance, I will definitely check out that checklist. So,
Yep.
perfect. Thanks, guys.
It's not impossible to overcome, obviously, and it's a movement towards doing what you're talking about and developing properties that may not be able to develop. But, the purpose of that code was to promote single-family homes.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's what the purpose of this particular code, especially in that zone, is.
Understood.
So you just have to overcome those things.
Understood. That's all the information I really needed, guys. And ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate the time.
Is there any other business.
with the expertise of
So, so the two that we tabled, they just weren't able to be here tonight, or?
They contacted us and said that they wanted to delay.
Have you, Steve, have you had conversations with the folks who wanted to do the short-term rentals?
Yeah, we've talked briefly.
Can you
about-
update us on any of that, or before we see that review? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, they basically stated that their intent is to live there full-time. They just currently do not, but they're like, the apartment that they utilize is where they live is not going to be for rent, it's never going to be for rent, it's not for rent, it's their personal, private dwelling unit. And I'm like, okay, so we gotta talk about that and figure it out then.
but that's the one they wanted to use for short-term rental.
Nope,
Oh.
it's a two-unit house.
Okay.
I thought last time
I
they said
thought-
that they had tenants in one, and it was the one that they live in that they were gonna short-term rent.
That's what
So
they
it
said.
sounds like their intent now is that they would not do that.
Oh.
So I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay. All right, I
If they
thought maybe if
requested
you could
not to
update
contact
us,
me,
Okay,
because, okay.
do they need to redo their application?
well, it's been tabled. We tabled it, so.
Well,
Well, I mean,
just
the materials
because-
that they submitted. will
Yeah.
be-
Oh, well, yeah,
The materials they
when we-
submitted kind of said that they were gonna rent.
When we
the
come
house.
back, then they'll be presenting a different set of
Okay.
circumstances.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
it'll actually be more of a new application.
Different
Community
one
Bank
anyway.
just said we don't wanna come back, so.
All right.
Ever?
Is there any other questions? Pete, anything?
No.
Okay. Motion to adjourn, I guess?
So moved.
Yep, adjourn, thank you.